I have an idea. Let's record a shitty intro. Just strum it.
Okay.
This is the Zach and Aakash show. What's up, guys? My camera just broke. Welcome to the Zach and Aakash show.
Welcome.
God damn it.
Always technical difficulties to greet you every morning.
I don't know why that happened though. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Hello, everybody. It's the episode 22. I forgot to change the thing. Wow, my phone just broke. Okay. Well, you can all just hear my sexy voice while I fix this. Yeah, so Akash, how did you improve your life yesterday?
You know what I did? I ate some more cookie dough,
Oh, yeah?
and that was a huge life improvement right there. No, I pretty much just decided one major thing I want to get done today.
Mm-hmm.
Committed to it, and I'm gonna get it done today. Otherwise, not much. Just had a nice, relaxing Sunday. Not too much else to do yesterday. What about you, Zach?
That's good. I started that little experimental show you and I were talking about.
Yeah, I saw the eyes.
Oh yeah, I forgot I posted that. I can show you all some more eyes. Yeah, I mean I want to explain it in the video, but there was a point where I was like, shit, I don't know how to draw eyes, so I had to go learn how to draw eyes. Can you see me now, Akash?
Dude, yeah, why draw
Perfect.
Naomi Scott when you can just draw me instead?
Because
That's what I was confused about.
look at how gorgeous this young woman is. I drew this.
Whoa, did you draw that?
No, it's a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to get into sketching. What I want to sketch, because I want to be specific, is I want to learn how to sketch people specifically. So I figured, jump straight into it. So I just drew a shit ton of eyeballs. So this is the start. I'll show you. This is the first eyeball I drew. And you can see it gradually got better and better. See that? And then I have a second page of eyeballs. Most of these are fuck-ups, to be honest. Because I was really tired last night. This one's pretty good. That's a good eyeball.
Oh, you signed it. That's how you know it's good.
I signed the ones I like. You can see there's a shit ton of fuck-ups. Yeah. Some of them are good, some are bad. So I noticed that like the process of drawing an eyeball is actually drawing a circle. So I'm glad I practiced drawing a shit ton of circles. I'm getting good at drawing circles, Akash.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was that. I was trying to finish my second blog, but I was getting some serious writer's block this weekend. So I'm going to try to finish it today. It's been tough.
I'm gonna try to finish a coffee bean today.
Oh fuck. The segment. Yeah, this is a throwback to episode 3 or something. There you go. Delicious.
Yummy in my tummy. Thank you.
So I kind of want to start writing the book next week. Is one thing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I think I was kind of procrastinating a little bit. But in an okay way. It wasn't like, because I figured that month of May before I start my internship is a good point to jumpstart, just to dive into just writing, because there's no school, there's nothing. It's just I could very well write for like 8 hours a day, and like nothing bad would happen if I did that, except my mental health.
2 more weeks of school.
Oh yeah, finals week, the chill week, where I'm not going to study.
2 more weeks until I'm officially considered an alcoholic.
Jesus Christ.
Because I won't be in college anymore.
That is so sad. Just be a fifth year.
Guys, this bottle, everyone thinks it's water, but it's actually a tall-ass bottle of straight vodka every morning.
Oh, that'd be a way to start the day. I mean, it is darty
That'd be
season.
terrible, dude.
Isn't it darty season? Spring darty season? Almost.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. Not almost. It is.
I'll miss watching all the drunk people stumble to Blaze while I'm cooking. It's a good
Stumbling in
time.
at like 11 a.m.
Yeah, I'm cooking. I look out and I'm like, wow, everyone looks good. Fresh ref in those Yukon. Respect.
You know what else looks really good?
Coding.
Coding. That's our segue for today. Oh man.
Yeah, so
But yeah, coding's fun. Zach and I are both computer scientists, for those of you who didn't know, and we both code for a living at the moment. So, Zach, why do you code? And how did you get into it?
well, you see, just as every middle schooler does, you download the game Minecraft, and then you wonder to yourself, how do I make games? So you Google how to make a video game, and there's some dude who's like typing shit into like a computer, like a bunch of weird words, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And you discover that is computer science, and you're like, ah. And so you decide that you want to go into it. Um, and then you take some stuff, like you take like a course, and you kind of enjoy it. You enjoy sitting awkwardly on a couch coding, just messing around. So yeah, it's fun. Um, I've definitely improved a lot since the first time I've coded. Yeah, I noticed that when I was like teaching basic stuff, and I could just go, and you can just like you don't even need to touch the mouse. You just go, you just do it.
You don't need to think about it anymore.
Yeah, you don't
You
have to
just do
think.
it.
You don't have to think. You don't have to touch the mouse. You're just like, it's done.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Minecraft. So if you're interested in coding, I guess play Minecraft. Or no, I guess it's the other way. If you
Yeah.
play Minecraft, you might be interested. Um, yeah, eighth grade I played it, but even before that, I had a couple friends who were into coding in like middle school. They made these cool websites, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. How'd you make that? And then that's how I got into HTML back then. I made this website. I wanted to remake Addicting Games was a website I really liked back then for some online games, all those Flash games. I wanted to make something like that. And then I played Minecraft, and then I wanted to make mods for Minecraft. And that's how I got into it. And I made this mini mod. I made this Obsidian armor mod during my freshman year of high school, which is really insane armor.
Wow.
And then after that, I was kind of lazy for a bit, but I kept like trying to code different things. And I spent like 2 years just trying to learn
Where you just watch YouTube videos for like, you just watch a shit ton of YouTube videos.
my high school. I was always a part of the team, but I got more serious about it senior year. And I was also like the programming lead for it with my buddy Andy. And when you're in that type of environment where in robotics, you get 6 weeks to build everything out, and you got to put it in competition, and shit's always breaking. The electric side is always changing. When you're in an environment like that and you're coding in a high pressure environment, you start to learn pretty quickly. Especially when I remember this one competition, our first competition with the robot that year. We were supposed to go on field the next day, and the night before the robot broke, and there's this thing called autonomous, where your robot would automatically do something. That year it was supposed to automatically move and shoot into a little basketball goal type of thing, and everything broke. And pretty much in like 30 minutes, Andy and I had to figure out exactly what's broken, how to fix it, and how to get the robot, automatically doing something again. And for a second, we didn't think we were going to do it. We were in high pressure. The entire team was pretty much counting on us. Some people were getting agitated, but you get it to work, and the feeling is like no other. You're like, holy shit, I just did that. And it's little wins like that that get you more and more invested in coding and invested in creating.
It's addicting.
Hmm.
The best is when you smash your head on your keyboard. Something won't work and you have no idea why.
And then 3 hours later, you realize it's a typo
Yep.
and you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, I remember you made a typo and I was wondering, I was like, why? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And then like an hour later, I don't know, I did some like hard debugging and I found like something was misspelled by one letter and I was like, ah, damn it.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Sometimes your code shoots out weird errors that are not related to the real error.
Yeah.
And that can really mess you up. That's the type of shit that takes you like hours to debug and figure out.
I think when I got good at coding was, or like better than just normal, where I can like teach now and like clearly explain shit, was definitely last semester. Um, part around the time we started Follow, I think that was what kind of bolstered me to the next step. Um, that and then working for Project 77 really kind of put me over the top where I was like, okay, I can
Mm,
confidently do a lot of this. Even if I don't know, I can confidently figure it out within like
yeah.
a couple of weeks or a month or something, or even like a couple of hours.
And that's the point you got to get to, because before, when I saw all my friends who were good at coding, I was like, damn, they know all these things. They must just be really smart. They must just have to watch a lot of these YouTube videos and learn a lot. I have no clue how they got there. But it's not about knowing everything or being good. It's about learning how to find out the answers. No, I realize that no one actually knows how to make everything work. But there's a saying where coders aren't really good at coding; they're more really good at Googling, and that's a real skill when you want to become a software engineer. You need to know how to Google your errors, because most problems you face, someone else has already had that problem, and there's most likely an answer out there.
Yeah, because if you're using someone else's library too, like a library is like a someone who wrote code for you, so you don't have to write it. Usually they'll put in errors and it'll clearly say what the error is. But the reason they put that error is probably because they know people are going to make that mistake. So it's like you can Google that. It's probably a common error. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
All right, Zach, why do you think that only computer scientists should be into coding, or do you think it's a useful skill for other people to learn?
It's useful for everybody to learn. There's a lot of mystery behind coding. Um, it's well, one, it's like fun to like learn a new thing. So if you want to learn it, just go ahead and learn it because you're curious. Like if you don't like it, then you won't like it. But most of the time, you will probably find some cool stuff around it. But it's definitely useful because when thinking about other problems. So my friend, this was before he started coding, but he was at work and he realized that his entire job could just be automated. So he quit and he started doing another degree for computer science. So that's it's good to know those types of things. And plus, like if you wanted to change careers or something like that, you could very easily change careers if you knew just enough to like do the interviews and
Mm,
stuff.
yeah, you know what's one useful skill? People who are intermediary between the technical people and business people, because it's a common but somewhat true, what's the word I'm looking for, stereotype, that coders or software engineers aren't like the social people, aren't the easiest to communicate with. And you see that a lot where there's a huge barrier between the business side and the technical side, and they're not even speaking the same language. There's a lot of value in people who know both sides so they can communicate that between each other. So just knowing a little bit of that technology can put you in the market for a lot of new jobs you hadn't considered before.
Yeah, like
And
that CEO
yeah,
we
go
met,
for it.
that CEO we met in San Francisco, who was at UConn for the ear lens. He could like explain
Oh
the
yeah,
product. Like it's not really computer science, but like he could explain like the biology of the ear and like the fucking whatever it is that you put in.
yeah. He, he
Electrical
was a
or
business dude, but
yeah.
well, he was a CEO, so he better know the biology and the
Well, yeah, but
technology
like
behind.
that's also like another case study of why it's important to know or to learn a little
Yeah,
bit so you know what people are talking about. Um, and, you know, the
and a
engineers
lot
will definitely like help you and like explain stuff. It's not scary to ask
all
questions.
engineering.
Like I love when people ask me what I'm doing and let me explain it. It's fun.
Not everyone's like that, Zach.
Well, fuck them.
True, I agree, but yeah, not everyone's like that. A lot of people, like a lot of coders I've seen when I was learning, when I was trying to ask for help, they have the attitude like, "Fuck off! What are you doing here? I don't want to explain it to you. Just let me do my shit. Don't bother me," type of thing. Those
Yeah,
people are really do exist.
those people, they're good engineers. That's an insult, by the way.
Damn.
That's a fucking insult. Uh,
Shots fired. Yeah, any type of engineering, if you're in any engineering field too, coding self focus. My roommates are material science engineering and mechanical. Especially my mechanical engineering friend, he's has to do quite a bit of coding for some of his classes for like mechanical do for simulations and stuff like that. They use a lot of MATLAB, and I know my I think they do that. Yeah, any engineering field, there's some coding aspect, and if you have knowledge of that, that's going to set you apart too.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just good to know all things. Like for
Mhm.
you and me, like maybe we should might be a good idea to learn like just go back into physics or stuff or just a lot of the natural sciences because then we could,
Mhm.
you know, combine them because they're important for like robotics and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the buildup is important too because you got to know physics as an intro into electromagnetism, which builds up a stronger foundation for learning things about circuits and how electrical units work. And then circuits help you understand how logic works and how logical circuits work. That helps you understand how computer components work, like memory, RAM, CPU, which helps you understand how code runs at a really basic level and how binary works and how things communicate with each other, which helps you understand how the code we write, the more common code works. And there's a lot of steps in between that too. But all of that base knowledge, you don't necessarily need to know, it all the way from the physics. But the more you know, the more optimized code you could write, I guess, up to a certain point.
Also, there's less mystery. Um, like when you code something, like there's physically like matter that is changing in your computer on like the microscopic
Yeah.
level by like the size of an electron or something. So like you're basically commanding electrons, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you're
It's pretty
commanding
whack.
electricity. That's what you're doing. You're commanding electricity in a really microscopic scale.
It's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But I remember coding in MIPS and it was not fun at all for me.
No,
That was a pain in my
and
ass.
that's why there's this concept called abstraction in
Yep.
coding, where common pieces of code are packaged together, and that's really helpful.
Okay,
It's
so
very, very
I
helpful.
guess I didn't explain MIPS, but MIPS, so you know, we have like our higher level languages that look almost like English, like they're easy to understand. And then the computer is going to take that and then turn it into a new language called assembly or machine code, and that looks disgusting. But that's you're physically like
Yeah, it turns into
coding.
opcodes.
Yeah, you're like physically taking different components of your computer and like putting stuff in them, like you're like physically going in there, and then that gets converted into binary. And there's a way to do that. It's actually not too hard to like convert. Like you could, that'd be a fun project. Like take Python, go to MIPS, and then go to binary, and then like print it out on a piece of paper. But like you go there, and then the computer reads the binary part, And that part, see, it's interesting material, but I hated the way I was taught. It was just not fun for me when I was learning it.
Yeah, it's well, that class you're talking about, architecture, that class I really liked because
It's
I just really
cool.
liked getting the. Well, again, I didn't like the teacher the way it was taught. I passed that class by reading
Yeah.
through the book,
Yep.
and I thought it was really cool. But yeah, it could have definitely been thought better, and they could have really emphasized the why on why you need to know this. And
Crash
again,
course.
if you're just becoming like a web developer or a software engineer, for regular things, you most likely don't need to know any of this. But the more you know, the more it sets you apart and the better you get overall.
It's just cool to think about too. Um, like a good motivator is that show *Halt and Catch Fire* on AMC. Like that shit looked cool to me. Oh my god, they
What
were
show?
like *Halt and Catch Fire*. It takes place in the '80s. So basically, what they do is they get an IBM PC and they like
Hmm.
reverse engineer the BIOS or something. It's there's like a scene where they take a breadboard and they like set it up so like I think that the chip that has the BIOS, like every time you like run a command or something, it like prints it in hexadecimal or something. And so they're writing all those addresses down in like a book.
Oh,
It
okay,
was like it
gotcha.
was so
Wow.
cool. Oh my god. You could just like look up the scene. Just look up *Halt and Catch Fire* reverse engineering scene, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Halt and Catch Fire.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it again because it's just like really cool. Um, But like Crash Course, that YouTube channel, they do a good video on how like computers work. The Crash Course Computer Science. I think it was very well done because rather than just saying, "Here's a computer," they say, "All right, so this is what happened before computers, why computers were developed." I think the first problem was like doing census data because it would take way too long to like tabulate by hand all the census data. So they created a machine to do that.
Hmm.
And then from there, the machines got better and better. Um, and then they discovered logic gates or stuff like that. Um, whatever, like the chemistry part.
No way. They definitely discovered logic gates way before computers were made.
No, 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 no. I mean, like, there was like machines that would just like mechanical machines that had nothing to do with logic
Oh.
gates. Yeah, yeah. And then from there, they had I think it was like vacuum tubes or something. Like there was some
Oh,
mercury.
gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha,
there
gotcha.
was some
Yes,
like
yeah, yeah.
machine where like it would dip like a needle into mercury, and then that would be like a signal or something. But of course, that was like too big, and mercury's a little scary. So then they moved on to the logic gates, and things were able to get smaller and smaller. And yeah, it goes into depth, like from the beginning, and that's what I like. Motivation.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's a lot of things coming together too. A lot of things because once computers got to a certain point, and then we went into war, and because of war, we got the internet so people can communicate in war, like the basic version of the internet.
Hmm.
And then a lot of that infrastructure developed, and then a huge past the war, there was this huge shit going on in Silicon Valley with transistors for computers, and transistors became smaller and smaller, and then that huge side of the country boomed, bringing so much technology and innovation. And suddenly, I'm on my phone, Zach's on some computer, we're talking to each other, and you guys are watching us do that.
Yeah, if we didn't have the internet, this pandemic would suck.
Yeah, think
I,
about that.
I don't know what
Wow.
I would. Well, I would probably figure it out, but it wouldn't be as efficient.
Yeah, we'd be probably be writing notes on paper. I don't know,
I mean, that's
going
how I
outside more,
that's how
maybe.
I plan on writing the first or like iteration of Follow the musical.
The musical,
I'm
it's a
just kidding.
musical.
I'm gonna get the
Yeah.
legal pads. I love legal pads. Just because we're computer science majors doesn't mean we don't sometimes like to use analog stuff. People get really like paper, paper.
Sometimes it's nicer. A lot of times it's nicer.
Saves my eyes. I
And
think that's why I went blind. Too many screens.
I don't know. No, sometimes I don't know. There's a lot you could do with the computer. Obviously, really cool, but there's nothing so free form as paper on a computer. I think the closest you could get to that is maybe your iPad Pro, and you can write on that.
But even
But
that,
I
it's
don't know.
like annoying writing on that sometimes
Yeah,
because it doesn't
maybe
bend. It it's
it's
like
because we're like
charge it. I
used to it
guess.
from like a really young age. It's paper and pencil, but it's just something so nice about it.
Mm-hmm. Paper. That's why I want like paper displays. Like why do we have to have a screen for everything? Why can't we have like the smart technology that goes on? Like I don't need to know what happens. Like I could have a server somewhere in Arizona or a computer in Arizona and like it could do all the calculations for me and I'll have some like shitty like $50 just paper display that shows me like my calendar. That's all I need.
You pay $50 for a calendar.
Well, no, I mean like a
Just
calendar, like
calendars exist, right?
contacts, like a calendar. I can text people. Like I don't need all this extra shit on it. It's just like you know,
That's what your phone
remote
is,
in,
man.
remote in.
A remote phone. Yeah, but yeah, that's I guess where do you want to go with computer science? Like we talked about our journey so far. What
It's
do
a
you
good
want to do with
question.
it? Do you want to be a coder for life? What do you want to do?
See, that question is a little more or the answer to that question is a little more complicated now after going on this like 2 to 3 year journey. But so on one hand, I could very easily become a coder and get that like amazing starting salary, whatever, and then just grind and stow away the money. But I'm starting to realize that maybe I don't I I don't have. It's okay to not just be a coder. Like I enjoy coding and it's very fun to me and teaching it, but I don't want it to be like my main. Like it should be part of like this whole like I don't know discovery that I'm trying to do right now, or this part of this bigger picture. It's just like another component. It's like a skill you have that can be used for other projects as well. I want it to be used more as a means to go solve a problem, or
Mm,
just to have fun. Like it's fun. It's like why am I sketching? It's because it's fun and I'm just interested in it. But I don't want it to be like I'm not going to monetize sketching. It's just because I want to sketch. Um, yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I'm gonna have to probably get a job next year as like a software engineer, and I think that's okay. But eventually, I want to be at that point where I can, do other things and not just code to make money, but like code to solve bigger problems. Um, does
yeah,
that make sense?
yeah. No, I like that. That I notice that's when I have the most fun coding is not when I'm building some bullshit website, but when I'm solving a problem. Because I think some of you knew about this, but pretty much for this show, we needed to extract clips from it to post on Instagram. And that was very, very tedious going through the clip, editing it out little by little. And what we realized is instead of doing that, we could just write a little program with Python where we just feed timestamps and a video in and it spits out the clips for us. And then you could even go one step above and have it format with the white bars and the text in the top and the bottom. And you don't have to worry about any of that. It just spits it out for you. And that made life with it so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was cool. Um, yeah, it's like we gotta be careful as a society to monetize skills we create. Like don't always have to do that. It's okay. Like we're not even monetizing this podcast. We just like talking and it's helping
Mm-hmm.
it's helping the self as opposed to like in a non-monetary way too. Maybe you could make money one day, but like it's helping the self um
Every time you tell people you're doing something, it always jumps to, so
monetize.
what are you going to do with it? Where's it going to go? How
Yeah.
much do you think you're going to make? And in the beginning, I was really into that, and I was into that whole monetization thing too. But the more and more I think about it, that's the stuff that burns you out. You know, you don't do stuff just for fun anymore. You go for growth and monetization and all that. And then it's like, why are you doing this? Are you doing it because you enjoy doing it, or are you doing it because it's some way for you to possibly get money, but in the process, you're pretty much losing why you started doing something in the first place?
Yep. I think you and I caught ourselves on this podcast too before that happened. Very,
Yeah,
very
you know,
quickly.
it sneaks up on
Mm-hmm.
us too. This podcast, like even from the start, we were literally saying we didn't want to do it, and then slowly in the background, we were doing it. We were trying to find a way to do it, and it got kind of scary.
That in itself is a skill. The self-awareness thing, that is a skill. Um, it's like, why are you doing something? Are you trying to get laid? Are you trying to, are you trying to, I don't know, are you just bored? Are you trying to find what excites you? That's me. You know, just,
Yeah, and I think one of the hardest things to do is to find your personal why, and mainly because it's always changing too. My why, again, the reason I liked all the monetization stuff a couple years back, because my why before follow, and I guess during follow too, was to make money, to get rich. That's what I wanted. That's what I really cared about. Um, but the more I built into new experiences, I mean, that's just not me anymore. If that's your why, that's cool. Then know that, and then take advantage of it and go make money. But that's not my why anymore. Money is still good. I still financial security is something I value, but that's not my primary why anymore.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And once you can find out what motivates you, then the game becomes, you can take your own game to the next level.
And now another part of that, a lot of people think that the why will just like you just sit and it'll come. No, you have to actually put in action to get your why. It's like do stuff.
Yeah,
If you're like
it's one of the hardest things to find.
if you're curious about I don't know anatomy or something, go buy a book right away and go read it, and then just keep going down those rabbit holes. I know people are gonna be like, you should really focus on your schoolwork or whatever, but they're the ones who are missing out on something magnificent.
And that's the hardest thing. When other people come into the equation, the reason, you know, it's called self-awareness. You think like, I should know myself. That should be easy, right? And I think it might be, but your whole life you're constantly influenced, and your brain is stretched and pulled by the people around you. And especially with the internet, there's so many influences reaching into your head, planting little seeds in, that it becomes hard to distinguish who is you and who is somebody else talking through you. And
Exactly.
that's what finding self-awareness really is, distinguishing between your voice and all the other voices in your head.
Yeah, like most of the time, like if you feel shame about something, the universe doesn't care. It's mostly just someone who told you that that thing you're doing is something you should feel ashamed of. So like you can't just ignore it, obviously. Like I believe that every feeling you have, every thought you have is for a reason. Like people don't go out and just decide to go kill someone. They like have a course of events that leads up to that. Like that's not like some people just think people are evil when they're born. It's like no. Like maybe you're born with an illness, but usually there's things that happen along the way. Like I'm sure you've seen the Joker, Akash, the new one. It was an okay movie, but like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
he
yeah.
had
I know. I really like the movie.
okay, well, I don't know. It was kind of
All right, keep going, keep going. Go
okay,
ahead.
whatever. That's like another topic. But like,
Yeah,
things happen that lead to things. So don't judge yourself for like thinking like, oh, I'm like if someone says, "Oh, just rub dirt in it." That's not helping. Or like just suck it up or whatever. Like that's not helping. You need to address why you think that way. Why? And then you will
yeah.
foster this power.
Your brain is a pattern machine. You're born with your genetic that you can't change anything related to your genetics, where everything else is influenced constantly by your environment and what is around you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you gotta be able to distinguish between that. That's why you know that it's put in place by something else, not just your own personal thoughts.
Like if you're afraid of the people dying in the coronavirus because you're watching the news all the time, turn the fucking news off because it's gonna happen
Yeah,
and it's out of your control. So you also got to think about what's in your control. So it's like I don't know, something in the world happens and you're so bothered by it. We got to realize that that happened. It's out of your control. There's nothing you can do.
yeah. That's the thing. It's this thing about worry. If it's in your control and you're worried about it, do something about it and changing it. You have control. And if it's not in your, then don't bother worrying about it. You can't change it. You just need to deal with it. Worrying and just thinking about it and sitting on it, that serves no purpose for actually solving it. Especially worrying. Thinking about it can help, but worrying about it doesn't serve much. If something just happened and it's not in your control.
Yeah. Then you have like the feedback loop from hell, which is when you like judge yourself for worrying or something. Um, okay, yeah, we this turned
Yeah,
into coding and now it's like life philosophy.
yeah,
I mean, those two go together like really well, I think. Like every time you see coding, you see self-help added to it.
yeah.
It's weird.
Let's talk about that for a second. Isn't that weird? A lot of self-help, self-improvement, that whole thing is very close to coding. Like John Sonnes we watched, it started as Simple Programmer. It was a coding channel, and then it became Bulldog Mindset. I wonder why that is. I wonder why a lot of coders go to self-help.
I don't know. Not all of them. Um, not all of them.
No, definitely not
I
all.
I've met some like blind, mindless coders who just want the grade. I'm like, come on, come on. Like some kid didn't want to do the
Come
Kaggle
on.
competition because he wanted his grade. Like I did I tell
Wait,
you that?
what?
I made a suggestion for a final exam to be a Kaggle competition because like that's like legit data science. It doesn't have to be a hard one; it could be an easy one, but at least like a Kaggle
Uh,
competition. And I thought that was a cool idea, and everyone shit on me because they were like, "Dude, I just want a straightforward assignment. I don't want to lose my grade." I'm like, Jesus, guys, it's all the same shit.
gotcha. Oh, well, yeah, one thing you can cram for, the other thing you got to know your shit. And I low key empathize with them because sometimes in a class you just gotta go for the easy grade and get them out of it if you don't really give a shit.
But it's all the same thing. Like he would pick one that's like image classification because that's all we've done. Like this time he could give us hot dog, no hot dog as a Kaggle competition, as opposed to uh fucking male female. Like how is that any different? Like the only different thing is the image size. Oh, I think we just lost Akash. Fuck. Do we lose the stream? Oh no, we lost Akash. Shit. Yeah, but for that situation, everything would be the same except for the size of the image. And like you could reuse your homework from that. Yeah, Akash is dead. Rest in peace. Yeah, that's awkward. Oh, it's just me. Hello, Zach. Now I'm just zooming myself. Okay. Oh, welcome back.
Dude, you should have seen how you were frozen on my screen.
Dude, you were like, I was like talking, and then you were like, And I was like, why is he just looking at me that way?
All right, you want to see how? I think I was talking to you. Let me send you real quick.
Oh God.
Oh,
Good coffee stuff. Who's ever watching, did this help you with life? I don't know. In general. Did we lose Akash again? Yeah, I think we lost Akash again. Hold up. That's hot. Whatever Akash just sent me. That is Jesus. That is something else.
why does it keep happening?
I don't know. No, my camera broke.
Oh,
Oh my God. The stream's breaking. There we
everything's
go.
collapsing.
I fixed myself. Why are you gray? There you go.
I'm
Okay.
gray.
But back to what I was saying about the Kaggle competition is that
Hopefully.
if let's say we had male female images, that was our last homework. The only difference with the next home, like if we were to like do hot dog no hot dog, would be like the image size. Like it would pretty much be the same process, which is what we've been doing. Um,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like the whole thing was you could submit it to Kaggle and it'd be fun. Like it'd be like, oh, now you can go do stuff on your own. It'd be cute. But no, everyone's got to puss out on a little bit of extra steps.
Yep. Tells you, and you know, the fact that they aren't making the final that, and the fact that that isn't the step already shows that it's all a grade-based system rather than a learning-based system.
Yeah, fuck university. Okay, sometimes I don't want to fully say that. Sometimes there are classes that I think really influence the way I think of the world. That would be so. The first one would be economics, microeconomics. That was a very well class. Film study, English. Um, what was it? Maybe 2050. CS
Mm,
2050. Um, David's class, management.
yeah.
Um, what else? Fuck. And then maybe big data.
Really?
It's but okay. I didn't go to class that much, but it's because of the projects. Um,
Mm,
because I didn't really know what correlation meant, and then like I made a graph, and then like the textbook said that's a correlation. I was like, ah, related versus correlated. I get it now.
yeah.
Um, that changed the way I think. What else? Not Univ. Univ was like,
You know, it was bullshit.
okay, maybe my algorithms class. I think yeah,
At 3500, I liked a
yeah.
lot.
That was that actually yeah. That helped me think about a lot of problems. Not 3100. That one just gave me like
It
just
helped me
pissed me
technically,
off.
but not. It helped
Yeah.
me technically, but not.
Oh, the discrete math course.
Oh yeah,
hmm
prove some stuff on that. Yeah, I
Ben
didn't.
Fuller is a good professor. He like I felt like he
No,
gave a shit about me.
no. He
Maybe for
wouldn't
you.
round my he wouldn't round my 89.5 to a 90.
Yeah, I think that's is that it for the classes that have influenced me? I mean, I gotta order them on like levels of influence. Okay, maybe philosophy.
Paul
Despite,
Bloomfield,
yeah, despite everyone being pissed off, maybe I have Stockholm syndrome, but
dude,
yeah.
that class I no. It I would have liked the class itself if it wasn't him trying to shove his opinions down my throat.
See, but that's the thing. It wasn't about his opinion. It was about how he conveyed his opinion. That was the whole point of the class.
See, it didn't sound like he conveyed it very well to me. It like felt like he was just trying to shove it down my throat, because anyone who would ask a question and try to pose an opposing opinion, you're supposed to encourage that. You're supposed to help them form it and develop it. Instead, he just completely dismissed it. Even I think like told a couple of them to keep quiet and kept going with his own opinion. I don't think that's how a class should be taught.
That's
I really
fair.
like the discussion sections. That was really helpful.
Okay.
I like the TA was really good, but the class itself, I was not a fan of it. Mostly the professor.
Mine was online, so I think yeah, maybe that helped.
Maybe that was different.
I remember taking the exam. You're supposed to have like a proctor watch us, and I accidentally started the exam, and I was like, "Wait, shit! I was supposed to have a proctor watch me." It's like 20 minutes in, there was a proctor watching me. Some people didn't even have the proctor, but I don't think he gave a shit.
Yeah, even in the exam, there was one question where he made a typo, and when I raised my hand, he's like, "Nope, no questions, just write it." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? That's bullshit."
Okay, fair, fair.
But
Time is it?
we're
5 minutes.
towards
Yeah.
we're towards
Now,
the end.
now I want to read philosophy again. See this shit? This is like encouraging my true self.
Yeah, it's just stuff you learning stuff for you versus you learning stuff for someone else and for some other reason. That's what it comes down to.
Turn off social media.
Oh, oh well.
Wow,
Well,
we had a good conversation today, even
mm-hmm.
though we came up with this morning.
Yeah, Zach was
That's
like
like
10
every
minutes before
show.
it started. It's like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, let's talk about our journey with computing.
Do you want to see my old nose?
Oh,
This is a fake nose.
you put your old nose back on.
Just kidding.
Wow, did the old one looks way better?
It's a pencil sharpener for my pencils.
Oh,
So
I used to have one of those nose ones. Did you ever go to the Scholastic fairs?
yeah,
Those are good.
next week we have our guest star Jamie Scott or Naomi Scott. I just said Jamie Scott. Wow, that's I'm so sorry. You're not Jamie, you're Naomi. That's the new. This is the new. This is the new face of the show is Naomi Scott. Sorry, Jamie, you're out of the cut. You didn't make the cut.
Dang it. Dang it, dang it. All right, any last final thoughts?
Don't be afraid to try stuff. If you
Don't
need
be
help,
afraid
if you're
of code.
literally if you're like afraid or something and you're like, "Oh god, I have so much resistance." Literally text me. Like there's only like 4 of you watching. Just be like, "Text me and I'll offer some words of encouragement." Because I have been there where I was got the tentacles of society wrapped around my legs. It's like hentai. That's right. That's right. I could take a very intellectual thing and turn it stupid. That's the only way people can digest it.
That's right. People can only relate to hentai.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the final word, guys. Watch more hentai, and you will find answers to life within.
Oh, great. All right, guys. All right. Thank you all who tuned in this morning. I know there's a few of you watching. If you're laughing, good. If you're not, also good. Be
Learn
self-aware.
to laugh,
Be self-aware. I want you to think about what you're thinking about. That's your homework.
and then think about that.
And then think about that, and eventually you will teleport to a new dimension. Okay,
You will meet Jesus.
everyone's starting to
Everyone's
leave,
well.
so I'm gonna end the stream. All
Anyway,
right.
you wait. You guys know the routine. Zach and Aakash Show, Spotify, Instagram, Apple, Google, YouTube. Check us out.
If you
Peace.
if you have
Thank you.
a friend who might benefit from the last portion of our show, share it with them, because sometimes people think their problems are unique, but they're not. Okay? Thank you all for
Yeah,
watching.
you're not special.
Yeah, you're not special. Mark Manson, 2016. Peace, guys. Bye.